turn, look all around you. It's 6 o'clock, Barbados. Time for Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Well, a very terrific Tuesday morning to you. Yes, I said it. Tuesday the what? The 15th? The 14th of June 2011. I'm Pearson Bowen. By the sound of the thunder, I was up. Good morning, Katrina. Good morning, Colin.
Good morning, Pearson. I didn't hear the thunder, but it has to be the rain.
Yes.
The rain was far more than a few pitter-patters on my windowsill. Came in and kind of drenched my rug. And before we have a conversation about security, which we will do later on in crime prevention, there were wrought iron bars. But yes, good morning. I'm Katrina Marshall saying thank you to those of you who have chosen us to start your morning off right with. We have a lot to share with you this morning, and I'm particularly pleased to be sharing the table with Colin Cunningham.
Well, one thing I would say, good morning to you, Barbados, is that, Pearson, I'm glad it wasn't May 21 when that thunder woke you.
Yeah, boy.
It would have been worrying.
I am telling you, it would have been like God just came back, y'all. Wouldn't want that, but it's October still coming, yeah?
Well, yeah, of course.
Yes,
well within the hurricane season.
We have a new doomsday, do we?
But the problem with that, though, is that if you were not judged to be righteous by May 21, there's nothing you can do between now and October 21. Isn't that kind of disappointing?
Which Bible are you reading?
The man said it.
The King James Version is 400 years old this year. Watch it now.
Listen, the man said when he mixed up the dates, what was happening on May 21 or whatever that day was that God was judging the world on that day. Between then and now.
He said it was the rapture.
No, he said it's
and if we read our biblical bits correctly, the rapture means up you go, and then you have 1,000 years afterwards, those of you who remain like Patrick and Hamid and those, to sort yourselves out and get ready to see the coming of the King.
1,000 years.
1,000 years. But a day in God's eyes.
But he's dealing with a different situation.
Clearly.
Between May and October, it's not 1,000 years.
I still feel like between May and October, I get a little rapture reprieve. I really do. I feel like between May and October, I have a chance to, a do-over.
Really?
A do-over.
All right.
So would you want to know when you will die and how you will die?
Nope. I'm quite happy to be comfortable with the God that I serve every day as he directs me.
You're frightened.
No, I am not. I'm frightened of the pain.
You are afraid.
If it's a painful death, I wouldn't want to know because I'm afraid pain. I'm not going to lie. I don't like pain.
Colin, what about you?
I think I'd want to know.
Why?
Because I could, during that period building up to that, I could do things, I could say, make plans, do things.
But it all depends on what those plans are, because some people would probably plan to do all the wicked things, and just the day before say, Father, forgive me. And that's all he says.
Or the minute before.
There you go.
Yeah, be like, that is why I would want to know. I'd like to, be doing things, take my own vengeance.
Well, while we are still in the now, though, I think we're just very pleased that we're all managing to be here. Every day that arrives brand new is a gift, and we should say thank you. We should also say thank you, Pearson, before we get into the important business, to everyone who came out to BMX 2011. It was an breathtaking experience to see some of the talent that we have here, and we're going to talk about it later on in the program. So to all of you, the support services, the security, everyone who made BMX 2011 the success that those of us who visited believe it will be, and to those whose success will hopefully be improved because of their exposure at BMX, thank you. A big Morning Barbados thank you. The traffic though, Pearson.
Well, I don't have that battle.
Oh, you don't?
I don't.
You didn't have
off and I'm picked up.
You didn't have to park in Trimark parking lot and walk like the rest of us?
I'm telling you all to take up my example, eh? I don't ever have that problem.
Oh, boy.
Dropped off and picked up.
Well, not all of us, achieve that status where we could afford to have a chauffeur and a limousine.
Saying, I want to be just like Pearson when I grow up. I want to be just like Pearson when I grow up. But I think it was
we should try it.
We should try it.
I think it was a
Should we try yours first?
Well, you could.
Y'all are too silly. But yeah, I think it was a testament to the popularity of the show, because some of us were lucky to have arrived there just as the doors opened just after 10 o'clock. And even then, the parking within the compound was limited. And by the time I was leaving with arms full of goodies, which I will share later on. And I have lots of goodies for my co-presenters. We clearly have quite a few fans among the manufacturers in Barbados who have all sent little goodies. So please stay stay tuned to see what I surprise Pearson and Colin with later on.
We've got 5 minutes after 6 o'clock. I want to take a drink. Would you, Katrina? The news?
Yes, you can have your drink while I share some top lines. I have you covered here. These are just some of the stories that we'll be following in further detail in our main news package at the top of the hour. We hope you join us then. Barbados has responded to comments by Jamaica's Prime Minister Bruce Golding that he would not be bullied into allowing Red Jet to fly there. Acting Prime Minister Ronald Jones has made it clear that Barbados bears no hostility towards Jamaica. Executive Director of the Barbados Manufacturers Association, Bobby McKay, has lamented the absence of furniture manufacturers at BMEX 2011. She says this has left a void at the annual show. The Junior Achievement Program is back. The Barbados Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development had called for an initiative that would partner with entrepreneurs, mentors and the private sector to revive the program. Barbados is joining with millions of people around the world in celebrating the 400th anniversary of the King James Version of the Bible. The Barbados Auxiliary of the Bible Society in the Eastern Caribbean is hosting a week of activities to mark the occasion, and retired Archbishop of the West Indies, Drexel Gomez, is playing a major role. The Suriname government has dismissed Police Commissioner Delano Brown. This move is being seen by observers as its way of dealing with public criticism over the rising crime situation in the Dutch-speaking Caribbean community country. Those have been your morning Barbados top lines. Do join us at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock for the full details. But for now, we've been talking about what's happening locally. But let's find out what's happening internationally. Pearson Bowen's got a copy of the International Herald Tribune.
Thank you, Katrina. Thanks to Newspapers Direct. It's 6.5 minutes after 6 o'clock. Now, remember Silvio Berlusconi? Yeah, that randy dandy. Well, Prime Minister, they say he's suffering a stinging political defeat on the home front when his voters overturned some laws that he had hoped to implement as a consequence of being in office. And they're simply saying, you know what? You're losing your touch, dude. And so there's lots of concern in Italy as a result of that. That's on the front page of today's International Herald Tribune. Also, Turkey turns to the task of changing its constitution. With a solid majority from parliamentary elections, Prime Minister Recep Erdogan on Monday turned to what he defined as the main task at hand, which is drafting a new constitution intended to grant additional civil rights and acknowledge Turkey's ethnic diversity. They're moving for change there in Turkey. Also, on the front page today, it says that Libya portrays rebel cause as doomed as loyalist forces and rebels clashed around the strategic oil city about 50 kilometers west of Tripoli. The government of Colonel Muammar Gaddafi insisted again that the Libyan leader would not be driven from power by rebel attacks or NATO strikes, suggesting that the colonel and his associates were as deeply dug in as ever. When will that particular battle come to an end? But you can read all of those stories and a whole lot more in today's International Herald Tribune, thanks to Newspapers Direct. We gave you the address on our screens earlier on, but if you forgot, remember you can go online at newspapersdirect.com.
And just to take a look now at what's happening in local headlines, we go to the Nation newspaper, where red light is the main headline. And as we've told you in our top lines, no war of words over Red Jet with Golding, says Jones. Of course, the tit-for-tat tactics that some have been accused of, or acting Prime Minister Ronald Jones is saying we're not involved in that. But at the top of the banner head, shoot up in Haynesville. On page 5, gunmen attack Haynesville folk. They apparently were sent scampering for their lives yesterday when 3 armed men with guns opened fire on a group of people. Layoffs at Butterfield and getting a slice of life. Who's getting a slice of life? That's what you can find out if you check the front page of The Nation. On the back, creativity at its best. You've got to take a look at this horse and donkey sculpture. It's the creation of Dr. Lance Bannister.
He's brilliant.
Isn't he fantastic? Crafted from old metal and mounted outside the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre. Gentlemen, you need to take a look at this. All of that out of discarded metal. Painted.
Yeah.
Hewn, molded, heated, all of that to create a fantastic sculpture, and that's homegrown.
And the other H was heavy.
Yeah, well, yes, we didn't want to quite go there. Banned in our final headline on the back page of The Nation, the brawlers on the Virgin Atlantic flight have been banned from the airline for life. Virgin Atlantic made the announcement yesterday after noting that the trio breached its traveling conditions. You want a reminder of what happened in that story? Pick up a copy of your Barbados Nation today.
All right, so let's look at The Advocate now, where it says renewable energy eyes on Barbados. The United States-based energy company is desirous of starting business in Barbados with the view of driving energy costs down for Barbadians in general, also for the farming community. I say to them, hurry! We can't wait. Regional governments must. Yeah. Regional governments must embrace Red Jet. Well, our discussion will go on and on. Food focus, nutritional content and proper labeling of foods being sold to Barbadians has caught the attention of the National Chronic Non-Communicable Disease Commission. I hope for good reasons and not for bad reasons. And get this, we're getting a $6 million grant from China. Again, bring it on. Some stories in the Advocate newspaper. Yeah.
But there was another story.
That, though.
There was
I'm over here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes, Pearson.
Did we talk about the front page of today's Nation?
Do you know, I was so busy talking about
right
the Red Jet headline that I forgot. Our signage has come leaps and bounds from the days where we used to just meander along.
I felt like I was in America. Honestly,
Look at his face.
The only problem with that, though, the sign makes you feel international. The driving is still bad. Like, they don't care. It's like you drive because it wasn't there
on Saturday.
Right, and then
So
yesterday
you
morning
woke
when I
up.
left and went down the road, it was there, and I was like, wow. But the driving, like I said, you know, people still think they're in a hurry to cross lanes, even though it's a solid line, that sort of thing. But the sign is nice.
But at the end of the day, we are adhering to international practices. We are putting our money where our mouths are in terms of making sure that we are
to international driving
practices. I mean, I have seen pictures of people who, I don't know if they don't regularly travel this route, but people are still, every now and again, coming up this direction. If you up as in heading towards the bus roundabout from the triangle, when you try to turn left out of the gas station. So I have seen pictures of perhaps someone who is a little bit older who hasn't come out very often, and it was an accident waiting to happen. So kudos to all of those who have instituted those signs. Yes, I did feel like I was driving in America. So I know that we have to take a quick look at what we're going to be covering in our show, but I have to give out some presents first.
Okay, let's go.
I have to give out some presents first. Sylvia Hackett is a sales executive at the West India Coffee Company. And as you all know, I like to get powered up. It was the first booth that I went to when I visited BMX. And she says...
Did you buy her out?
I tried to. But she's given me these no caffeine added, all natural booster shot energy mixes. And for those of us who have to be up before dawn, I thought, gentlemen, I think you deserve it. There's plenty more under the desk for some of these.
You fuel up on caffeine and we get no caffeine.
That's actually better for you. No caffeine and no sugar.
I'm just
Hang on. This says how to use. Simply twist off cap and infuse all natural energy into the beverage of your choice.
There you go. There you go.
All right, I got it wrapped. All right, coming up today, we're going to look at manufacturing. The question is whether manufacturing. We'll talk to a guy who has been in the business for a little while to get some insight as we take a look deeply into some money matters today.
Of course, we are joined by our friends at Sani Services. They are on board as our new sponsors for the traffic report. We're going to have a little discussion with them as well before we go on to talking crime prevention.
And yeah, if you're thinking about, relaxing, maybe you had so much to do over the long weekend, we'll introduce you or reintroduce you to a spa. It's called Soothing Touch. All that and more.